Hi, friends. Thank you so much for watching. I'm here with my friends Sherry Tucker Cox and Martin Cox. We're in the middle of our stewardship campaign, Gravity, and so we're hoping that we get to sit down with a few folks and hear about their story, why they're at First Church, and why they give. So thank you for being here. I'm so grateful for y'all. What our friends watching don't know is that y'all are relatively new members.
That's right.
Yeah, so you've been here about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
What brought you to...
We've been members for about 2 years.
You've been visiting longer than that.
A long time.
Yeah.
Actually.
What brought you to First Church?
You go first. Well, I lived in McKinney. That's where I had lived the last 30 years before we got married, and I was very active and my family was active in the Methodist church in downtown McKinney.
Yeah.
This church reminded me a whole lot of it. I think it has the same architecture, I believe.
Okay.
The physical place reminds me a lot of it.
Yeah.
Also, the theology that you guys, a much more progressive theology, which is what I was looking for and had in McKinney.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I'm a lifelong Methodist, and so I grew up in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, and went to First United Methodist Church in downtown Bartlesville, and then when we moved to Dallas in 1985 and started having children, I have 2 daughters. We were in East Dallas, and we got directed to Greenland Hills United Methodist Church, and just had a really great experience there for probably 15 years, and so that always stuck with me. And then as sometimes happen, you have a church home, and then you don't, and you're looking, and so. When Sherry and I got married, that was one of the things on both of our lists is first of all deciding which city to live in.
Right. Then, between McKinney and Dallas.
And then also, finding a church home. So in addition to what Sherry said, I would just say the downtown location I think is really nice. The fact that the church draws from a broad spectrum of Dallas is meaningful. And then just the friendliness and the feeling that you have here, and the underlying inclusion that's sort of preached every Sunday.
Yeah. I really love that you brought up that we serve a broader community, because I don't know that a lot of folks know we serve 6 counties. Isn't that nutty?
Yep.
Like, people from Dallas are coming to the heart, like to downtown, to worship together and learn together and grow together.
Yeah, it's great.
I just love it. Well, and that means that we also have like a wide variety of backgrounds. Right? And you don't always get that in a church, especially in the suburbs in particular.
Well, McKinney was a lot like this because it was a downtown church. So
yes.
We drew from all over the town.
Yeah.
So that feels familiar, and that's what I was really looking for in Martin as well. We visited several other churches, or a few other churches, and it was just too homogeneous for us. So this really fits what we really like.
Well, the other big piece too was the music.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how could it not be?
Yeah. That's true.
Do you both sing? I know Sherry sings.
No, I don't sing.
He plays the guitar though. It's
I do. I'm a strummer.
And Dana Effler, are you listening?
And he was all-state clarinet.
In
Oklahoma for 2 years.
In Oklahoma, I'm not sure that counts.
It does count.
Anyway.
That's so good. Okay, now that you've been here 2 years, what's the thing that if you tell your friends about your church, what do you say about us?
I'll go.
Yep.
I think I lead with just that it feels very inclusive and comfortable. And I would, we haven't been here that long, but even in the short time we've been here, the church has made these really important strides toward more publicly being able to say what it is and what it isn't. And so for me, I always want to be affiliated with, an organization of any kind that I'm really proud of and sort of feel in sync with. And, in organized religion, sometimes those things are kind of hard to find. And, or you sort of put up with a part that you really don't believe in because the rest is so good. And so I've just felt like we keep evolving to a spot that I'm really just personally comfortable with. So that would be how I lead. I think though the downtown location is important. The music is important. I mean, it's a easy place for me to talk to somebody about and say, come give it a try, because I know they'll feel welcomed and they'll be challenged and they'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I love that. That's a good word. Are
For
you
me,
similar?
I continue, I sing in the choir now.
Yes.
So I'm committed to that, and that keeps me coming every week for sure.
Absolutely.
Twice a week.
And we're grateful.
Yeah, Wednesday night and then Sunday morning. What was your other question? What do I tell?
What would you tell your friends? Yeah.
Do I tell them?
Yeah.
Most of the people that are my friends don't go to church regularly,
Yeah.
and I know why, and I tell them that this church is different, that it is very open, and it leads with love, not with exclusion. It's all about being included. I do like the downtown location too.
Yeah.
But basically that's it. For the people that I know, they don't go to church. It's like, well, they used to.
Yeah.
And I say, well, I think you might find that you might really like this church.
Yeah. I think it is a major difference. You can feel a difference when a church is leading with exclusion, right? Like, this is for some of us. Or I was at a church recently that said, we try not to judge other people.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Try harder.
Right. And I'm just so grateful that it's not only that we're a church that leads with inclusion, but we have members like y'all who are committed to it.
Well, and you see it lived out.
Yeah.
It's not just preached. It's lived out in the church. You can just take a look at our congregation.
Yeah. Like it's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we're so grateful for y'all. We're grateful for y'all being here. You're new members that give faithfully and generously. What does that conversation look like at home? Like, did you both know that you were going to give to the church and you were going to stay with it?
I've been giving regularly for the last 30 years to the church in McKinney, and before that, I was raised Southern Baptist, so,
you gave.
Got a tithe. So it's just always been part of what I do when I'm involved with the church.
Yeah.
And same here, but when we became a married couple, we got to have that conversation jointly, and that was, I don't know if Sherry remembers it this way or not, but I was it was getting time to pledge, and so I said, well, here's what I've been giving, and I had some idea of what she'd been giving, and so I said, so what do you think? And she goes, well, I think we ought to double that, which what I'd been giving. I went, okay, huh. I mean, usually, you bring two households together, it's a chance to save a little.
Not in your case.
So anyway, one more reason I'm impressed with Sherry. But anyway, it was, that's kind of how the first conversation went. And then we're, like this year, we're talking about it right now. We know what the budget increase is, what would be the right place to land. We're definitely going to increase our pledge, but it's, how much and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
I feel good about giving money here because of what the mission of the church, stated mission of the church is. I've also worked quite some time in nonprofit world, and I'm keenly aware of how sometimes money that is raised is not used for what it's supposed to be used for. And you all are very transparent about what you do with the money, and I also see what is done with the money, and I feel like in a business terms, I feel like it's a great investment. I mean, you're not going to get a return on investment like you would if you invested in some financial fund somewhere, but you get a return on your investment by what we're doing, what this church is doing.
Yeah, well, that's a good word. Y'all are not the first couple to use the word investment, like investing in the church. And I even had a youth member. Oh, a youth member. That makes me sound like I'm 85 years older than she is. I'm not that much older. But she's a youth, and she said, I feel like I'm the First Church dollars at work. Like, people are investing in us. And I think you had a grandbaby recently who is in the DLC.
Oh, yes.
Right?
She loves it. 2 of them now. Both of the girls are. Yeah,
Congrats.
both of them
Yeah.
are.
Well, and that, like, even the DLC is a part of who we are and what we do and what we offer to the community. Yeah.
Sooner or later, I'm going to get them here to church.
Yeah, you are.
Nap
It's on
sched-
camera
nap,
now.
I know nap schedules don't work, but I also was a recipient growing up in the church I grew up in, of that congregation's generosity. I was reminded today in church. Very involved with youth. I don't remember when I didn't sing in a choir.
Yeah.
And then I was very involved with my youth group, and something was said today about the church family. When things are not going somewhere at school, especially when you're a teenager, you have the constant of your church youth group. And I was very fortunate to be the recipient of the congregation's generosity at that time. So I'm now in a position where I can do that, and I want to do that because I know what a difference it made in my life.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Thank you for sharing. To wrap us up, I only have one question for you, and that is, what would you say to somebody who's on the fence about investing at First Church?
You go.
I'm not ready with the quick.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay, now
What-
I know.
Okay.
I love this so
Okay.
much.
It's probably just
Yeah.
what I just
What you just
expressed.
said. Yeah.
I know that the money that I'm giving is being used
Mm-hmm.
for what the said purpose is.
Which is a big deal.
It's a very big deal to me. Maybe
Yeah.
not so much for someone else, but it's a very big deal for me, and I have a feeling it's probably for many people in our church.
I think it's sort of the difference between like watching a great game and or being on the team.
Oh, I
you know?
like this. Yes.
Well, I mean, it's by giving and pledging more, probably even next step. You're committed. You're fully part of what's going on here, and that's, I just think that's obviously it's important for the health and of the church itself, but it's also so important for me or for the person who's doing it, because everybody knows the difference, because you've experienced it different times in your life, of being a bystander or being fully involved in something. And being fully involved in something feels a lot better. Might be harder.
Might be harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does
Or-
require more of your time.
More of your time. I mean, there's reasons to resist it,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, you sort of look back, you go like you're never sorry for being fully involved in something that was important. And so I just think it's of course it's about the church being able to do more and supporting our staff and continuing to do the work, and all those are reasons to give. But it's also so much about making you really feel connected and like you're a full partner in what's going on here. So that's how I think about it.
That's so good. Thank y'all for your time today. I hope that you are challenged, that you want to be a member of this team and not just watch a good game. I really hope that for you, and I hope that this conversation was fruitful as you're discerning what your pledge and your giving might be in 2025 here at First Church. We're so thankful for you watching.